Everyone. We're going to go through Wisconsin purchase agreement today with addendum A, B, and O. And we're doing that just because I recently had to do it. So might as well do it while it's fresh in my mind. So I am going to share my screen somewhere. No, let me get what I'm going to share. I know I have it open. There it is. All right. So I'm going to share my screen and I already am in Zip Forms. So hopefully you all know how to get to this point, to our screen where we are in Zip Forms plus signed in as Jared and ready to start our transaction. I'm even going to do it with the address that I wrote on because I know what that one is. 742nd Avenue. All right. So we're going to start by doing a new transaction. It is going to be a new purchase, offer to purchase. Okay, I'm going to enter Joe and Jane Smith. Okay, property address is not my home address. W12030 742nd Avenue. It is in Clifton Township, state of Wisconsin. Zip, I have no idea. Well, let me see if I can find the zip here quick. Hold on. We could make one up. We're gonna make one up. We're gonna say it's, oh, here I have it. I have it. Here we go. How y'all doing today? Because I know you're just watching this in a recording. So hello. And yes, I have a bird. And let me get this one open. And we're going to guess that it's something like, oh, here, now of course the file opens. And it is slowly loading. And of course, it doesn't ask for a zip code. It is a residential property. The status is active. And from my template, we're going to select personal KW select buyer. Okay, I'm going to save my transaction. And I'm going to ignore all of this stuff because I'm not sure why this is popping up. I'm going to ignore, and if this keeps doing this, it's going to do it a couple different times. All right, let me see if I can find my MLS number here. Really quick. We're going to ignore it for now. Purchase summary. I'm not going to fill any of this in because it doesn't do anything. So I'm just going to start adding my documents. Okay. So what we're going to go through today is we're going to go through the cancel residential offer to purchase. Okay. We're going to do addendum A because we're going to list the title company. We're going to do addendum B because this particular property has a well and septic. And we are going to add an addendum O because the seller in this case is requesting a later close date and they want to do an early move-in agreement. My buyers do. So we're going to add all those forms. Okay. And I get it. My picture is over them. And we're going to add them. No, we're just going to start filling one out. We're going to open, always open in the Form Editor Classic. The new one doesn't allow strike throughs. So we're always going to enter in that older one. All right, so I am the licensee drafting this offer on July 29th or June 29th. Okay, buyer is John and Jane Doe. Now I don't remember what buyer I put, but that's what we're just going to do. John Doe, not die, and Jane Doe. Okay, so two separate lines for those. There is the property. It is in the township of Clifton. Okay, and it is in the county of Pierce. All right, our purchase price is going to be, what should we make this one? Let's make this one $580,000. Property is listed at $625,000. It's completely overpriced. Now, I happen to know this property has a Viking stove, a Viking refrigerator. So I want to write those specifically because I don't want him taking out these super expensive appliances and putting in generic ones. If I just write stove, range, refrigerator, refrigerator. The dishwasher is just normal. It actually has a Viking microwave. Okay, washer, dryer, window treatments. Okay, we are also adding the kitchen bar stools as seen on June 27th, 2023. Okay, not included in the purchase price. I want to make sure that this seller gets all of their personal, all seller personal property, including paint cans, but I've said all of it, so they should be putting that out. Okay. Now I want to give them a deadline. So it is June 29th. I'm going to give them until July 1st. And I'm not sure why it puts month July there. Let me see if I can overwrite that. No, it just does that. And I'm not sure why. A little glitch in those, in that field. And I'm not sure why that is doing that. We are going to close on August 7th is what the seller of this property has requested. Okay, so when we do that addendum O, we're going to select a different date for an early move-in agreement. We are doing earnest money of $10,000, not $100,000, just $10,000. Okay. Nope, it doesn't accompany this offer, so we're going to take that out. Hold on. Earnest money of $10,000. We're going to fill in the second one. Okay. Rarely, I'm wondering if that line will go away someday. We don't really send earnest money with an offer. It's usually electronic. Okay. It's going to be electronically delivered within, we'll keep it at 5 days. What the heck? Earnest money is going to be delivered and held. Now, this is a for sale by owner property. So the drafting firm is going to be holding it. So we're going to cross out listing firm, strike it out. Okay. It's going to be held by us. Keller Williams Select. Okay. All this we don't need to worry about. We're not putting any other timelines on this, so we're not going to worry about that. Okay. We did receive a seller's condition report and it was dated May 23rd of 2023. Okay. Blah, 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 which was received, and no other conditions were there other than the condition report. Okay. We're not going to worry about any of those. So inspection contingency, we do want to make this contingent on the inspection. And we're going to, that's why we have addendums A and B, because we want to spell out what we are doing. What are we inspecting? We are inspecting electric, plumbing, HVAC, attic, general home condition. Okay, this is what I've been writing in mine. This is just for your basic inspection. Okay, if we were going to add on radon, we would put that on addendum A, and we'll put that there later. We do want to let me see what this says. Buyer should provide. So this is how long we want to take for our inspection. Now we're asking for an earlier close date. So we want to take slightly less than 15 days. We're going to do a 10-day inspection period. Okay. The seller, we're going to give them the right to cure. So we're going to strike out. We're going to strike out shall not. We're not going to strike out all those words. We're going to strike out shall not. Mouse is being weird. Okay, so we're going to the seller is going to have the right to cure. That means they can fix anything that we deliver to them, and we're going to give them 10 days. We're going to give them 10 days. Okay, we do want to have a radon test done. Okay, and who do we want to do this? I think we want the seller to show that his house is not high in radon. So we're going to ask the seller. Notice it is buyer if neither is stricken. That means the buyer would be responsible for finding that radon or getting that radon test done. In this case, we're going to ask the seller to do it. Okay, we're going to give them 15 days to get a radon test done. Okay, we'll give them a little bit more time. Right to cure. Yes, we are going to say the seller shall have the right to cure the radon. In other words, get a radon mitigation system in there. This is a cash offer. We could, if we were going to do financing though, we would check this here. Okay. Written statement. Okay. This is a written statement date. No, sorry. This is what type it is. So we're going to do 25% down conventional. Okay. Lender, we're going to get them commitment letter, not a commitment letter, but a written loan type. This is like your pre-approval letter. Okay, and we'll do it within 5 days. We're going to say the financing selected shall be an amount not less than 580 times a quarter of that. Oh my gosh, we're mathing. We're going to say we're going to do a mortgage of $350,000. Okay, over 30 years. Now we're going to do 15 years. These are frugal people. Amortized over not less than 15 years. Okay. Monthly principal payment shall not exceed, we're going to say $3,500. That's about what that would be. We are not paying any discount points. This is saying buyer agrees to pay discount points. No, we're not going to, well, maybe we're going to pay 2 points. We'll pay 2 points. If you don't know what points are, call me. I just taught a class on what the heck discount points are. Okay, we are doing a fixed rate, interest rate not to exceed. Happen to know this is 6.49. Okay, fixed rate, it is not adjustable. Okay, we are not doing any seller financing, so we don't need to check anything there. Okay, within so this offer is not contingent on financing commitment. This is your commitment loan letter. We're going to say within 20 days because we want them to have time to get that underwritten and all of that stuff. Okay. We are not making it contingent on appraisal because we're putting 25% down and we got an appraisal waiver. Okay. So we don't care if it was contingent on appraisal. You're going to check here. You're going to, this is an interesting one because it's hard to predict when appraisal will happen. You really go 20 days there. Right to cure, seller shall, right? If I was having this contingent on appraisal, I would say seller shall have the right to cure. That means we're going to renegotiate. That means we're going to renegotiate the offer to bring it more in line with what the appraisal was. Okay, again, not seeing a lot of those happening. This is not contingent upon my buyers closing on a property. Remember, that would include if they did need to close on a property, we would have to put a bump clause in there. saying that if an official other offer comes in, they have, how many hours? 72 hours. My buyers have 72 hours to remove that contingency. Okay, this is like the Minnesota, if you're familiar with that one, the sale of property, right? Contingent on a sale of a property. We just don't call it a bump clause. We do not need any of that there on this one. Closing prorations. We do have fuel, water. We are not prorating any other fees on this one. Real estate taxes, we are going to do option one. That is the one that we do most of the time. Instead of doing the mill rate, it's just going to be prorated, okay? And we prorate real estate taxes. We don't care about that. Conveyance of title. This would be if there are any levies against the property. There are not. Okay. We are not leasing the property, so that does not apply. All of this is standard blah, blah, blah information. Okay. If we were going to do an appraisal gap coverage, we could put it here. Okay. Name of seller's recipient for delivery. Nope, I'm the buyer. I represent the buyer, so I'm going to put my name here. And I'm going to put my email, okay, at kw.com. Okay, I'm going to put the email address because we're going to choose email for delivery. We don't want to rely on the US mail. Okay, we're going to put john.doe@gmail. Nope, I put it in the seller. So let me move that to the buyer. Okay, there we go. john.doe@gmail.com. Jane.doe. Can't believe those email addresses were available, but they were. Okay, and the attached addenda. Okay, we're going to have A, B, and O. A, B, we'll say the pre-approval too, and addendum O. Let's see if I can actually get that. SSO. Seller. It is O though. O. See if it'll let me do this. Yes, it did. There we go. And this offer was drafted by moi, Keller Williams Select Realty. There I am. Okay. Then we're going to have the buyers sign and date. So what do we do with this now? What I do is I do save to PDF. Okay. I'm going to save it in my transaction. Okay. Then I'm also going to go save to PDF and I'm going to save it to my device because I want to be able to upload it into actual Minnesota Authenticsign for signature. So I click to download. I'm going to have it saved. Residential property purchase. Way too many things on my computer. So say I go to buyers, and this is how I organize mine. I use a Dropbox. I have buyers. I have all my buyers here. Okay, we'll just make a new Jane and John Doe. Doe, Jane, John, and Jane. Okay, open it there. Eventually. No, not them. Where's my Doe? There we go. And then I'm going to save this there. Okay, so now that's been saved. So now I'm going to go back to my forms. Okay, so now I want to find addendum A, offer to purchase. Okay, notice it's all filled in there. Yay. My closing. So I'm going to name my title company here. And since this is in Wisconsin, I'm going to use Land Title Hudson. Okay. So if we wanted to just double check that they are going to be doing the radon, seller providing. So we asked the seller to provide the radon test. So we're going to strike out buyer obtaining substances radon we're just gonna do, oh, well, yeah, well, we're only asking them to do radon. There we go. So we're obtaining the other ones. Okay. And again, no later than, I think we gave them 20 days to do the radon. Okay. There we go. After acceptance at seller's expense. So we're going to cross out buyers here. Okay. Striking that out. We want the seller to provide that. We did give them the right to cure. We gave them 10 days, I think. Okay. Otherwise, we do not need a map of the property. That would be like a government survey. It is contingent on the buyer's pre-approval. Okay, and we're going to provide the pre-approval within 5 days after acceptance. Okay. We are not asking the seller to contribute to closing costs. However, if we were, we would check here. Let's say on this one, what the heck? We'll ask them for $5,000 towards closing costs. Okay. And we're not going to ask for a home warranty plan. Notice you have to strike out buyer or seller, whoever you want to pay for that home warranty plan. Flood insurance premiums, if you have to deal with those, again, saying how quickly they're going to provide that information. Okay, has all that information there. We're going to have the buyer and seller initial. So what do? We save as PDF. Okay, I will save it as in my transaction. Then I'm also going to save it to my device. So remember, if I make any changes, I have to resave this. Okay. And I'm going to save that as addendum A. There we go. Okay. So then I'm going to go back to my forms and we're going to do addendum B. Okay. Has all the information there. We do want well tested. Okay, there is a well and there is a septic on this property. We do want it done no later than, we're going to give them 15 days after acceptance. So not prior to closing. We want to get this done quickly. Okay. Strike out, I do anyway. But again, this is all things you guys can negotiate with your buyers. They pretty much name everything that I want tested. So I'm not going to add any testing there. Okay. Seller shall be responsible. Again, we want the seller to prove that they have drinkable and potable and good water. So we're going to have the seller shall be responsible for obtaining the report. Notice it's buyer if we don't pick anyone. Okay. So it is a well system contingency and they are going to have the right to cure. Okay. And we're going to give them, again, we gave them 15 days. So we'll say 15 days. And that is after acceptance. So we're going to cross off prior to closing. This would be easier if they made it checkboxes. Just saying. That the state kind of well, this is a point driven, I believe. Again, that should be in the disclosures. Okay, point driven well. And we want seller, again, to be responsible for getting the report. If the well is inspected, so party ordering the inspected shall request the well yield information be provided in writing. Yes, we do want that in writing. Okay. It also does have a private septic. So we're going to check that. We're going to give them 20 days. So we're going to give them 20 days to do the septic. And that's going to be, again, after acceptance, not prior to closing. So we're going to strike that out. Okay. Notice prior to closing is the default. So again, who is going to be responsible? The seller. We're going to put that on the seller. And please note, most or a lot of the properties, all the ones I've shown in Wisconsin, in the Western Wisconsin area, do have well and septic. So yeah, if you're writing offers on Wisconsin properties, you're going to be doing a lot of these strikeouts and figure out who should be responsible for the test. I know I can make this work. Hold on. And we're going to give them the right to cure as soon as I get control of my mouse. Here we go. So the seller shall have the right to cure. Okay. So if anything is wrong or not compliant with that septic, we're going to give them the right to cure. We'll give them 15 days. Okay. Notice it's 10 if left blank. wells and water. This is just information about that. There is not a shared well. There is not a shared driveway. Now, there is an underground or above ground fuel storage tank on this property. Okay. Seller is responsible for closure or removal no later than, we're going to say 10 days prior to confirmation of the tank. Okay, we want to make sure that there aren't any abandoned underground fuel tanks or above ground, because then our buyer would be responsible. Again, who's responsible for doing this? The seller. So we're going to strike out buyer there. Okay, so we need them to prove that there are no hidden, potentially leaking underground storage tanks. Okay, so that is it for addendum B. Again, what do we use addendum B for? It's mostly for well and septic. Okay, so note what we filled out there. Yeah, this is for the well and septic and water testing. So we're going to save as PDF. Okay, I like to save a transaction. I like to save onto my device. Again, if you don't have a filing system yet, Dropbox is fabulous. I've been using it my entire 14 years in the business. Okay, so we're going to save that there. And the last one we are going to go over is addendum O, because what we're seeing a lot of is, it's a seller's market. So sellers are wanting more time. So this could be, early move-in agreement or occupancy agreement. It could be if the sellers want to stay there longer. Okay, so see, it's a post-closing occupancy by seller or pre-closing occupancy by buyer. In this case, my buyer does want to move in there on the 21st. Okay, we're going to say noon. We'll say noon. 12 o'clock p.m. Okay, we're not selfish. We're gonna pay them. Okay, now notice it says per day. Okay, so July 21st through August 7th, which is our close date, we have about 2.5 weeks. So we have agreed to pay them $100 a day. Okay, we kind of renegotiated that, and who's going to hold that? We're going to say, there we go, Keller Williams Select. Okay, we're going to hold it in our trust account. Okay, sure, we'll pay a security deposit just in case of like $1,000. Okay, in case there are any damages, and again, that will be held at Keller Williams Select. Now, most of the time this will be at the listing agent, but again, the one we're doing is a for sale by owner. We are going to say that the utility charges are going to be changed because basically we're asking for an early move-in agreement. So we don't want to have to pay the current seller for the utility changes. We're just going to switch them over on July 21st if they agree to this. There are homeowners fees. Okay. So we're going to say the occupant is going to pay those. Yep, we're going to say the occupant is going to pay those. Okay. And we're going to say that the occupant will be responsible for all the maintenance. Okay, because so we just kind of want to take over the place. And here, if we are requesting that there is something major that goes wrong, we're going to put the cap at $1,000. Okay, per repair. Keys, I want all the keys. I want all the keys. Okay, for my buyers. Owner shall have, we're going to say 1 key to the premises. And we really don't want the current seller coming in because essentially we want to take it over. Okay. And again, we're going to do the property taxes prorated through the day of closing. That's going to already be, within our closing costs. So we're just going to keep that simple so that the title company doesn't have to figure out what that is. Okay. If they refuse to give us possession, buyer may take legal action in the amount of, we're going to keep it at $100 per day. Okay, and buyer will surrender the premises to the seller within 3 days. This is if we cancel the contract. Okay, so there's got to be an out there. And we're not going to talk about insurance. Insurance may not be available. We're gonna keep this hazard insurance to be assumed by buyer as of possession date. Okay, so those are all the provisions we have. So we are going to save that to PDF. Remember, this is again addendum O, early move-in or seller holdover. Okay, would be responsible for either one of those. So save to my device. I have all my documents needed now, all filled in correctly. Hopefully, kidding, they're filled in correctly. And then we're going to take all those and sign them in AuthentiSign or DocuSign, wherever you want your signatures to be. So that is the Wisconsin offer to purchase, Addendum A, Addendum B, and Addendum O in case you have an early move-in agreement. Thanks for tuning in. Chris Kowalik, Chris K at kw.com if you have any further questions. Thanks.